dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. Protesters rallied in Pikeville today, voicing their opposition to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox details their meaning behind gathering.
A protest shining a spotlight on rural communities.
We really wanted to reflect national action after Roe v. Wade was overturned. And of course that does affect us here in rural communities, even though we often get forgot about or left behind.
And the far-reaching impact of Friday's Supreme Court decision.
We want to show that we have a movement here, that we have people here fighting for our rights, fighting for our access to bodily autonomy, our reproductive rights, our rights to privacy.
And it is the issue of privacy that Emma says should concern everyone, not just women.
With that now jeopardized, they can start coming after all of us. It's not just those of us who can give birth.
Their plan to take action? Voting.
That also affects because the trigger ban that was put in place in Kentucky is the result of state and local elections.
One politician they look to for change is U.S. Senate candidate Charles Booker, who says he can empathize with the struggles Eastern Kentuckians have.
I realized that my family across Kentucky feel the same frustrations that I do. A lot of our leadership in Frankfort have made this a central issue. They're not talking about quality health care, making sure that our children get food, or that we address housing crises.
Protesters say by organizing their efforts, they can have their voices heard. From Pikeville, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
We reached out to the office of incumbent Senator Rand Paul, Booker's opponent in the upcoming election, for comment in response to the protests, but we did not hear back. Protesters also gathered in Frankfort on Sunday, organized by pro-choice advocates to voice their opinion against Friday's Supreme Court ruling and more. Katima Smith-Willis organized the rally and says the Supreme Court ruling appalled her, noting that black women have the highest mortality rate when bearing children.
If they can dial the time back 50 years with this specific matter, imagine what else is going to be on the table when we're talking about the amendments and the Constitution.
State Representative George Brown out of Lexington was the only lawmaker who came to watch the demonstrations. He says he wants to take in the people's emotions and expressions tonight and bring it to the Kentucky legislative table for further conversations on the topic. The New York Times says abortion is illegal or restricted in 21 states, including Kentucky. What's stopping someone from simply going to another state that allows abortions? Well, as of right now, nothing, but that might not be the case in the future. Abortion is legal in Indiana up to 20 weeks, so for now, Kentucky women can still cross the river to get an abortion. Governor Beshear and Attorney General Daniel Cameron disagree on Kentucky's trigger law, which immediately banned abortions.
There can be strong opinions on something like this, but the trigger law that the General Assembly passed goes way too far. It is an extremist law, and I think almost every Kentuckian would agree that especially victims of violent crime, rape, and incest deserve options.
We must continue to advance and advocate for legislation that stands up for the babies who cannot stand up for themselves. We must commit to defending and implementing those laws. I, for one, will do my part in this role as Attorney General.
Because Kentucky has banned all abortions, many women will have to cross into other states to have that procedure. Indiana still has 3 providers in the state. 2 are in Indianapolis. Protests were not limited to the Commonwealth today. More than 50 demonstrations have taken place this weekend. 13 states have laws that ban abortions almost immediately, and another 13 are likely to restrict access or enact bans soon. South Dakota's governor is pledging to bar mail-order abortion pills, despite the U.S. Attorney General's statement that states cannot block access to abortion pills.
Are you saying the state of South Dakota is now going to overrule the FDA and decide which drugs are going to be available to its residents?
And many of those decisions are made at the state level. They absolutely are. That's what states do.
Will you stop, if it's sent in mail, will you intercede and stop it from being received?
There's certain protections that are guarded under the Constitution of the United States.
Governor Noem says women who seek out abortion pills should not be prosecuted, but the doctors who prescribe them should be. The Knox County Sheriff's Department is asking for your help in locating 2 stolen vehicles. This green Honda Rancher ATV was stolen in the Gray area on June 22nd. 2016 Harley Davidson was stolen from Standard Avenue on June 23rd. Knox County Dispatch asks you give them a call if you've seen either vehicle at 606-546-3510.
We are watching out for showers tonight as a cold front begins to work into the mountains. Let's start out over at I-75 at Mount Vernon. All is quiet for now, but we could see more showers as we go into the overnight hours. It was another warm day across the mountains. Temperatures reaching the upper 80s for most of us. 87 in Jackson, 89 in London, and 86 over in Somerset. Right now, though, things are cooling off into the upper 60s and lower 70s. 71 for Jackson, 70 here in Hazard, 69 in Pikeville, and 62 over in Clintwood. We are watching out for a few showers tonight, mainly north of the Hal Rogers Parkway, but more showers are likely as we go into the overnight as a cold front begins to work into the mountains. More showers right now over central Kentucky. So that forecast for tonight, temperatures falling into the middle and lower 60s. Watching out for those off and on showers into the overnight hours. But some good news, some cooler and drier air is on the way by Monday. I have that complete forecast coming up in just a little bit. Keaton.
Thank you, Cameron. In recent years, Perry County has seen several developments come to downtown Hazard and to the tourism business in general. And now Perry County has broadened its horizons even further by welcoming mountain bikers from across the Commonwealth. The Perry County Trail System and the Bluegrass Mountain Cup held a mountain bike race today. The Mountain Cup has held races across the state, concluding its series today here in the Queen City.
The mountains of eastern Kentucky have some of the best terrain for mountain biking in the state, and they have some great trails like here in Perry County or Sugar Camp just down the road in Prestonsburg. And you know, a lot of our racers are Lexington, Louisville, Covington, Cincy area, you know, the bigger populations, bigger areas where we see most of our racers. So it's great to draw them into the woods and get them on some different types of trail.
At today's event, there were different races for expert racers, beginners, and even a race for children, ages 10 and under. Those with the Bluegrass Mountain Cup say they hope to host more mountain bike races this fall. Sky-high gas prices have eased a bit. Today, a gallon of regular now averages $4.90 nationwide. Pump prices are highest across the West. In California, gas prices are average $6.32 a gallon. CBS's Danya Backus is in Los Angeles tonight with the holiday rush underway.
Travelers are crowding airports and packing planes. 2.4 million passengers went through TSA checkpoints Friday. That's the highest number in a single day since the start of the pandemic.
There were a lot more travelers at 4:30 in the morning than I expected.
The stress is expected to get worse this 4th of July weekend. Airlines are short employees in and out of the cockpit. Pilots flying for United have a tentative deal for a 15% raise. But the cost of a getaway for the rest of us is soaring. Tickets to fly are 14% higher this year.
Was it more expensive than usual to get to LA?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I have traveled for years and years and years. I have never seen prices like this.
Looking to sleep? A hotel will cost 23% more. If there's a rental car available, expect to pay about $40 a day more than 2019. After Yellowstone's historic flooding, the park's partially reopened roads had visitors waiting in traffic to witness iconic scenes like this, a bison roaming in front of tourists as Old Faithful erupts. No luck to visitors at Glacier National Park. The scenic Going to the Sun Road usually reopens July 4th, but snow will keep it closed.
Holiday traffic is expected to be the worst this Thursday and Friday between noon and 9 p.m. So if you want to avoid the gridlock, experts say make sure you leave early in the morning. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Coming up at 11, for the first time in nearly 3 weeks, Russian missiles hit the Ukrainian capital of Kiev.
And we are cooler and less humid to start the work week. I have all those details coming up.